Hello, I'm Mark Watson, and this is Yes, HATER. Sorry, have you got any like tissues or paper towel or anything like everything?
No, I can't help.
Alright, start the timer, start the timer.
Yeah, right, yeah.
We're still doing it. Sorry about that. Welcome back to Yes, How Can I Help? In which I, Mark Watson, resolve all of the issues and nagging questions harboured by the troubled inhabitants of planet Earth. As a direct competitor to the chatbots and other AIs who are gradually undermining our sense of community and our shared knowledge. This week, the questions are all you fair play, thank you.
I walked into a bag.
The man should have saying watch the bag, and he was right, but of course we've just seen that it's not possible to trust. Anyway, we'll come on to it. It is fine, actually. If you were... So, yes, the questions this week are all hypotheticals. I asked for questions in the format if you... ... And some of them are quite big ifs. If you were a cat burglar, but only took things to slightly inconvenience people, what would you steal? I think I'd steal things like, well, I've obviously got a little of a track record of orchestrating a trouser theft. I think I would steal just one shoe from as many people as possible, because recently, for reasons I still don't really understand, I could only find one of my two trainers, even though I knew I'd put them in the same spot. I did eventually find it, but it made me think how it would be a very annoying life if you only ever could find one shoe. If I had a bit of extra time, I might swap people's toilet roll for their kitchen roll and see just what sort of impact that had.
Oh, I'm walking into a gate here.
Yes, so Alex, just in terms of
I'm
on
frazzled.
things that Alex has watched. Of course, we've all been shaken, but I'm just keeping it together fairly well here. So Alex has walked into a bag and a gate. If you've tuned in late, it is worth going back to the start because there's been a cowardly attack on our freedom, but we'll come on.
We'll get to it.
If you were the first man on the moon, what would you have said on your first step? I think I would have just lost it and gone something like "Bagger me." Or something very anticlimactic, like just thank Christ for that. Or I might have just sort of looked around and said, well, the moon. And I think that would have been as good as Armstrong's one, especially because Armstrong didn't quite say what he'd meant to say.
Didn't even get it right.
No, he didn't get it quite right, did he? It was meant to be a small step for a man. That's the thing, I wouldn't have had a pre-prepared line like that, because there's more that can go wrong. Yeah, I think I'm happy with well, the moon. And by the way, last week I mentioned having invented the phrase, well, and a couple of people in the comments asked if they owe me money every time they say that. Of course the answer is yes. As I also mentioned, there are various other relatively popular phrases that I own the copyright on, and so it's best to just assume that I own most of the things you might want to say. I'm going to use the phrase "the croaking of birds." we think of birds as singing, don't we? And frogs perhaps as croaking. But what we've just heard is, indubitably, the croaking of birds. Rather sinister, actually. Almost as if there's something a little bit odd in the air. And I'm not somebody that's... Look at them. Ominous fuckers. Taking flight. As if fleeing the scene of the crime, which we've already seen somebody do. As I say, I don't think generally I am afflicted by
this doesn't happen every day.
Levels of paranoia. No, there was an episode where a number of people reported having seen spectral presences,
I don't know about that.
Ghosts and whatnot, kind of aggressing and attacking me. But I wasn't aware of it at the time, and when I watched the video back, I didn't see them either.
Francis and
the same
Murr
sort of
there
people.
as well.
Sorry.
Francis
and Murr back there. Yes, that was very popular last time. I mean, the same people claimed that you were killed at the end of that video, and that here you are alive
I'm
and well.
fine, yeah.
olfactory update. Passing gold, frankincense and myrrh there was an overwhelming stench of weed, cannabis, marijuana, pot, heroin. Myrrh. Call it what you will. Now, back to the ifs. If now, this isn't easy. If you were forced to remove one book from the entirety of human consciousness, i.e. it never existed ever, as no one would know about it, which book would you choose and why? Now, your mind goes straight to something like Mein Kampf, as some people's minds go there all the time. But I don't actually think that removing Hitler's book would have made much difference, because not many people ever read the book, and Hitler probably would have got to do his bad business is an understatement. Regardless, I don't think. Then, of course, you start thinking about the Bible because of the amount of. You could make a case, the amount of violence and the suppression of people's and the unhappiness that the existence of the Bible has caused. But the Bible, of course, has also given hope and comfort to millions of people, and still lays out a way of life that really works for a lot of people. So I don't know if I want to start, to use the phrase, dicking about with the Bible. I think if I nick the old Bible and no one's ever seen it, the world, without doubt, is very, very different from what, and I don't know if I want the responsibility, especially given, even with the limited responsibility I'm already wielding, I have my enemies. We'll come on to that. I just don't want them to have too much of the oxygen of publicity. But we do need to address it. What time is it, Alex?
3 minutes 40 to go.
Right, okay, fine. So in that case, very quickly then, I'm gonna, in terms of the book I'm gonna remove from the consciousness of all humanity, I think I'm gonna say one of Joe Wicks's books where you make meals in 15 minutes.
Valid.
Because I don't really believe that that most of those meals can be done in 15 minutes. And I think Joe Wicks is doing so well anyway that he wouldn't miss all the royalties. In any case, he'd never have known about them. And I don't think we need any more cookbooks. Already I can think of better candidates and I feel a bit sorry. But the decision's made. Wicks.
Oh, hang on.
Wicks.
Don't trust this guy. No, we're fine. He just turned around.
Of course, you're on edge. I'm on edge. We're jumping. That guy was smoking on a bike.
Yeah.
That man's doing a crazy run.
That guy is absolutely legging it.
Crazy run. That's the fastest you've ever seen someone run. But again, of course, I'm anxious. And in fact, we will come back to a couple of these, but I just want to say a brief word about what happened. So there was I'm going to again use the phrase a cowardly attack at the start of this video. Somebody who knew where we were planning to start. Yes, how can I help? Someone who's perhaps been observing us for a while. They were carrying, I can only describe it as a floral jug of water, cold water. They emptied it on me and immediately dashed. Well, I was going to say as if guilty. They were guilty. They were guilty as sin. They were guilty as shit. But what's truly troubling is what happened. Why would you be hammering now? Thank you. What's truly troubling is what happened in the immediate aftermath. I turned to a seemingly innocent bystander, a passerby, and asked him if he could help me out. And you heard the phrase he used, "No, I can't help." We all know, it came up in the last episode, "No, I can't help" is the name of the agency that exists for whatever reason to wipe us off the map. Our nemesis agency. I'm wary of dwelling on them too much, encouraging them, but it couldn't have been clearer that man was there to say, "No, I can't help," in order to claim responsibility for the attack in the way that terrorist groups do. I'm not going to make any more statements on the matter. We have what, 2.5 minutes
left?
Let's
add a couple minutes of extra time.
Well, I'm going to go back to doing what I've always tried to do here, which is no more and no less than to help people and enlighten them and clear up their problems and provide a useful service and spread a little bit of goodwill. All positive things you might think. Why anybody would want to destroy it, we can only conjecture. Whether they represent the interests of big AI or big something else, all I can say is, if you're watching, and more if you're watching every week, listen to me. Well, you have to listen to me. I pledge that we will not be stopped from making Yes, How Can I Help by these cowards or any other
That's
cowards.
not shame.
That was almost this week's shitting dog. There we go. That's more like it.
Same spot.
A happier memory. There we go. Just gold and frankincense for them. If you could ban one tool, what would it be? For me, it's the Phillips screwdriver. Those pricks.
It's
those
hammer
pricks.
guy.
It's their pricks. Yeah, and they're lucky because I would have said drill because I sort of feel drills are very noisy, and if you really want it enough, you can just make a hole some other way.
Yeah.
But because of their interference, that hammer's God. Again, everyone, all these seeming.
She was very
joggers.
smiley once again.
There's some lovely runners.
I think it's the same person.
If it's the same person. But yeah, hello. Hi. There we go. That's a jogger fan. It's
Jogger fan!
Starting to become clear who is on our side and who is against us. That's a jogger fan. Some of these could be jogger enemies. All we can say for sure is that society is now quite sharply polarised into keep it straight. Thank you. Into yes. See, he was a jogger fan or a cyclist fan because if he'd been anti us, he could have easily plugged the back of your shins there. Society, as I say, is rapidly becoming polarised into yes, how can I help? And no, I can't help. Pick a side. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it to anyone in particular. I'm certainly not raving incoherently. I'm just saying pick a side because there's a war in progress.
One more question?
If you're not happy, or if you may be happy but don't know it, are you required never to clap your hands? Yes. Being happy and knowing it is famously synonymous with clapping your hands in the song. So if you ever clap your hands but you're feeling down, you're sending out a false message, and you can actually lose your hands by the letter of the law. So only clap if you are feeling happy. If you want to avoid a big surprise, is it safer to go up to the woods today? No, I think any route to the woods risks stumbling upon the teddy bear's picnic because the picnic is going to occupy a fair bit of the woods. And even though, and this came up in the conversation, even though you're aware of the plans of the teddy bear's picnic because of the song, it still is a surprise. So it will not manifest in the way you expect. There might be more bears than you expected, or they might be bigger. But the only way you can avoid being surprised by the teddy bear's picnic is to avoid the woods altogether. Even then, those sneaky little bears might show up somewhere else. If you had to physically remove part of yourself and send it off to be improved, what would you pick? Turnaround is estimated at 6 months. Difficult. I wouldn't mind my eyesight being a bit better, but I'm not sending my eyes off for 6 months. In fact, I'm not sure how many body parts I could do without for 6 months. And that's turnaround is estimated at 6, but it could be slower than that. So I think
It depends if it's with like DPD.
well, because the other thing is,
It might have to be in to receive them.
You don't get laser eyes or anything fancy. Your chosen part is just like 5 to 10% better at its job. So I'm being asked to send off one of my body parts in exchange for a minimal improvement, which will only kick in 6 months' time. I think probably. Also, I don't really like the idea of popping any of my body parts in the post.
But imagine this, right? You get a pinky, you're trading the pinky, you get a laser pointer.
But I don't think it would. 5 to 10. But my pinky's not 5 to 10% away from being a laser pointer.
No.
It's only a small improvement. I think I'm gonna say I'm gonna send off my hair. I'm gonna send off my hair, which we know has caused me problems. I'll wear a baseball cap like Alex does for 6 months. And then when the hair comes back in the post, we'll see whether it is a bit more manageable and maybe a bit less greying. Not that I mind the grey. Yeah, it's hair. My hair's going. Hair in the post. Thank you. We'll do one more, I suppose.
Okay.
Well, of course. Well, the rules are all out.
It's been a weird day.
Yes, our rivals have, to use the phrase, wiped their asses on the rule book, and you not
He gave me a
surprised
shit
that
look.
person had a look at that. Yeah, but I think there is. You can sense in the air.
Come on.
People are a little bit stunned, a little bit numb. But word will have got round about what happened, and I'll say again, pick a side. If the world's currency turned into bananas, would monkeys instantly become millionaires? No, because most monkeys don't have 1 million. Bananas, and monkeys can't really be said to own bananas. They just shove them in their stupid faces. Thank you for watching. Yes, how can I help? 30, it's 30, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so. 30 episodes, we've done this. 30 times the world, at no cost, has been helped. And for about 28 about the first 27 or 28 of those, it felt as if we were ticking along pretty nicely. But things have changed. See you next week.
In a park, Mark.
Do I look like a cat?